research in India right from the Vedic period to 20th century, and also about ethnobotanical researches and surveys during 21st century also, 21st century also. When we begin right from the Vedic culture, we have seen at Rigveda and Atharvana Veda about Ayurveda system of medicine, Siddha system of medicine, and later Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita. These are all source of medico botanical resources. And also, you come to after BCs in our 1950s and 60s also, 1900s and 50s also. In between Vedic period and 20th century, 20th century, we have seen about Ayurveda Keralam, one physician, Otto, that who has at Portuguese governor. He is working as family doctor at Portuguese governor, and he wrote Ayurveda Karalam about 12 volumes of ethnobotanical knowledge. Ethnobotanical knowledge. Then we came to 20th century's investigations. During the 1953 to 56 and after 1960s, two pioneers have enlightened the ethnobotanical studies. First of all, Janaki Ammal, and these studies were categorized into ethnobotanical studies into economic botany. But later, the credit was goes to S.K. Jain, who studied the tribals of central India, and he published his journals and articles during 1962 to 65. So these studies were inspired by many of botanists and make them to turn on ethno-medico-botanical studies on tribal people inhabited various parts of the country. So these studies, what studies? The studies that have carried out by S.K. Jain have ignited the minds and triggered the minds of botanists towards the studies of ethnobotany. So right after this, Singh and other Mudgal, all these scientists have carried out a vast ethnobotanical knowledge from India, as well as we can see abroad also. Abroad also. At present, in ethnobotanical studies, China stood first, and later India stood in second place in ethnobotanical studies, as well as ethnomedico-botanical practices also. India is the first, and China is the first, and India comes as second place, so this is some preamble and a part of the ethnomedico-botanical studies. So today I would like to say you some ethnomedico-botanical practices that have established by some ethnomedico-botanical scientists with reference to a specific tribe and a specific region, from which region, by which tribe these practices are made, and what is the study or survey carried out, by whom this study or survey has carried out. So that is today's class. If you see the Himalayan regions, you can write it down. You can start writing. You must ready for every class with a notes and pen. While an important points will comes, you must have to note it down. So, botanical studies that were carried out at Himalayan region. Himalayan region. Also, we know yesterday we have emphasized that India is the a good favorable or it provides much convenience for the study of ethnobotanical research because of because of its rich diversity in vegetation and flora. India has rich diversity and vegetation with 40% of endemic species. 40% of endemic species. That is almost one third of the Indian species are endemic. Or India is the motherland for one third of the vegetation or flora. Also, India inhabited by so many ethnic races that are evolved from different cultural groups. Different cultural groups. These two causes provides us for ethnobotanical knowledge. So, in this way, at Himalayan region and central India, these are the two hotspots to carry out the ethnobotanical studies. What are two hotspots? At Himalayan regions. Again, Himalayan regions can be divided into central Himalayan region, eastern Himalayan region, western Himalayan region, lower Himalayan region. All these areas inhabited by so many races of tribal people, as well as if you come to central Indian part also, there is a rich diversity in culture of the tribal people, so that you could have identify many communities of tribal people in this area, central Indian area. How many of tribal communities are inhabiting in India? Yesterday I have told it. If you have noted down that number, you can able to very good. You can able to tell easily. 550 tribal communities are inhabiting in India. So this is also a diversity. So this kind of diversity of tribal people in respect of habitation in India. And the second one is rich diversity. In rich diversity, angiosperms alone, 17,500 species are there. So this is the estimation by World Health Organization only. And also it's certified by BSI, Botanical Survey of India. Other species are also very rich. Only angiosperms comes 17,500 in account. So that these are the favorable conditions, or these provides for the establishment of ethnobotanical knowledge. So in this way, we have studied in previous classes. The ethnobotanical studies in 20th centuries are also ignited the ethnobotanical studies and especially invention of some active principles from the plants. Some active principles means invention of some alkaloids or any other crude drugs which are used as medicine from plants. So these are also the first step for the development of ethnobotanical studies, as well as field of pharmacology. Field of pharmacology. In this series, we can say reserpine as good example. What is this reserpine? Reserpine, the reserpine which extracted from Rawalpia serpentina. This is used. This is used for mainly used for two diseases. The one is blood pressure, and the second one is as antidote. So clinical trials. clinical trials on many of crude drugs. So when the tribal people are using these plant parts or products of plants, as an ethnobotanist and pharmacists, they will undergo these active principles or these crude drugs into pharmacological trials, and later they undergo into clinical trials. Then only the properties and the active principles will be established. So the active principles of so many crude drugs, not only a reserpine, artemisinin, we have studied artemisinin, or any other uh, uh, crude drug we have established. This is also uh, one of the most important criteria for the source of ethnobotanical studies. What are the another criteria? The ethnobotanical studies that were carried out during the 20th century, which which ultimately leads to pharmacological and clinical trials of active principles. Later only, it is possible to establish the the properties of that a particular drug. So by the 20th century, we have vast ethnobotanical knowledge in India as well as abroad. As well as abroad. Again, in India, we can see a region wide, a mandal wide, district wide, state wide ethnobotanical knowledge is available. Huge amount of ethnobotanical knowledge has documented later. So now the documented ethnobotanical knowledge and other literature is available vastly in India. If you see in central India, in central India, as I told you, ethnobotanical studies were carried out by Jain and Tarapdar. So you have to note it down this point. During 1963, how you write it? You start you start S.K. Jain and Tarafdar, Thrfdar, Tarafdar, within the brackets 1963, you put a colon. They studied, they studied tribals inhabited central India, especially Gonds, and they have established more than 100 species of ethnobotanical plants that are used by Gonds. More than 100 species. The details of these 100 species were published in the year 1965. 1965. As I told you many times, the studies of S.K. Jain only initially inspired by many of botanists and turned them to study in the field of ethnobotany. So, as a part of studies of ethnobotanical studies, S.K. Jain and Tarafdar conducted ethnobotanical surveys, carried out the ethnobotanical survey during 1963 and published in 1965 after 2 years, and they have established more than 100 species that are used by the Central Indian tribal people, especially Gonds. Some of these 100 species, we cannot able to give all the details of 100 species. We will give some 3 or 4 plants among these 100 species. The first one is Cassia tora. Cassia tora. So this Cassia tora, leaves of Cassia tora is used by them. By them means those tribal people to cure common skin diseases. To cure common skin diseases. And one more example. Among these 100 species that were established by S.K. Jain and Tarafdar, the second one is Cambritum decandum. You can write it down. Combretum decandum. The common name is Venti, Venti. Venti is the common name. So the oil that extracted from the seeds of this Combretum decandum, oil which is extracted from the seeds of this plant, that is a Combretum decandum, is used to treat the ringworm. Used to treat the ringworm. So this is medico-ethnobotanical practice or ethno-medicinal practice. Both terms are one and same. Ethno-medicinal practice or ethno-medico practice. And then the next one, Flacotia indica. Flacotia, Flucortia, Flacotia indica. This is the another plant that was established by S.K. Jain and Tarafdan. This Placotia indica, bark of this plant, bark where this bark is formed on the stem after secondary growth. After secondary growth, you can see the bark. So, bark of the stem of this plant is used to treat eczema. Used to treat eczema. And the next another plant is Nectanthus arboristris. Nectanthus, Ny, Nyctanthus, Nectanthus arboristris. So this common name of Nectanthus arboristris is Parijatam. Parijatam. So the tender fruits and inflorescence, the total inflorescence and tender and small fruits means tender fruits means pindelu. పిందెలు అనమాట. ది హోల్ ఇన్ఫ్లోరెసెన్స్ మొత్తం పుష్ప విన్యాసం కలిపి దీస్ విల్ మించ్డ్ ఇన్ ద వాటర్ ఫర్ 1 or 2 days. 1-2 రోజులు నీటిలో నానబెడతారు. నానబెడతారు. అండ్ దిస్ వాటర్ ఈజ్ బాయిల్డ్ అండ్ ప్రిపేర్డ్ యాజ్ ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్. Extract means it will be reduced from 1/4 of the volume. If 1 liter of this water is boiled, and it will be decreased into 1/4 liter of the water. So this is known as extract. So this extract is administered to cure whooping cough. Whooping cough ante కోరింత దగ్గు. Whooping cough. So this extract, what extract? The tender fruits and inflorescence of Nectanthus arboristris is dipped into the water for 1 or 2 days. Later, this water was boiled and make it to extract. This extract is given to patients which are suffering from whooping cough to cure this whooping cough. So this is one more practice, ethno-medicinal practice or medico-ethno practice. You can say anyway. And the next one is Polygonum plumbagella. Polygonum plumbagella. You know what is this Polygonum plumbagella? This Polygonum plumbagella, this is the typical type of embryo sac development we can see. In embryology, you can see the typical type of embryo sac development, that plant. So this is plumbagella, Polygonum plumbagella. The tender fruits, here also the tender fruits of Polygonum plumbagella is used as galactagogue. You write the spelling galactagogue, Galactagouge, galactagogue, Gouge. Galactagogue means, can you say anybody what is meant by galactagogue? Galactagogue is nothing but that drug or agent which is used to lactation. Then you can understand lactation, that is milk production. in postnatal women. In postnatal women. బాలింతలు అంటాం. బాలింతలకేంటి? పాల ఉత్పత్తి ఎక్కువగా జరగడానికి ఈ టెండర్ ఫ్రూట్స్, టెండర్ ఫ్రూట్స్ ఆర్ cooked as a vegetable and eaten by this postnatal women for the purpose of lactation. That means these tender fruits of Polygonum plambagella are used as galactagogue. Galactagogue. So these are the some examples out of 100, more than 100 plants that were established by Jain and Tarafdar from central India during 1965 to 60, 63 to 65. 63 to 65. They started their studies 63 in 63 and they published these particulars in the year 1965. So the studies were made 63 to 65, 2 years. So these are the some examples. And if you come to some studies that were carried out in Madhya Pradesh, especially a district of Ambikapur, Ambikapur district of Madhya Pradesh, that tribal names of the tribals are Karwa, Voran, and Fando. Three tribes. Are you writing these names of tribes? Then the tribes from Ambikapur district of Madhya Pradesh. These tribes are Oran, 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 Karva, 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 and Pando, Pando. These are three tribes inhabited at Ambikapur district of Madhya Pradesh. And here some studies were carried out in respect of Borrelia diffusa, which is used to cure elephantiasis. What is elephantiasis? Or also called it as filariasis. Elephantiasis or filariasis. So these legs were swollen. Legs are swollen. Why? What is the parasite? What is the causal organism for elephantiasis or filaria? Can you say? Are you studying zoology? Are you studying zoology? Parasitology? What is the causal organism? What is the causal organism or parasite that causes to elephantiasis or filariasis? So you are very poor in other subjects also, not in our botany. Anybody can say what is the parasite? Filaria. You doesn't know? Shall I tell? Anybody? అసలు అందరూ వింటున్నారా ఉన్నారా లేరా లైన్లోనా? అందరూ ఉన్నారా? ఉన్నారు గానీ చెప్పలేరు. ఒకరారియా బ్రాన్క్రాఫ్టి ఈస్ ద ఒకరారియా బ్రాన్క్రాఫ్టి is the larval form of yes, a particular helminthic. So this is the elephantiasis disease. To treat the elephantiasis disease, the whole plant of Borrelia diffusa. What is the common name of Borrelia diffusa? So Borrelia diffusa is also came in our classes in so many times. గలిజేరు. ఇంకా మన వాళ్ళు వ్యవహారిక నామం కావాలంటే అంబలమాడు అంటారు దాన్ని. ఎప్పుడు చూసారా లేదా? అందరూ నాకు తెలిసిన పల్లెటూరు వాళ్ళే. నాకు తెలిసి ఇప్పుడు మన బోటనీ క్లస్టర్ ఉన్నోళ్ళందరూ పల్లెటూరు పరిచయం ఉన్న వాళ్ళే. ఎవరు ఏం బొంబాయిలో పుట్టి కలకత్తాలో పెరిగిన వాళ్ళు కాదు. బట్ మనకున్న బ్యాడ్ హ్యాబిట్ ఏంటంటే, మనం ఎప్పుడు మన చుట్టూ ఉన్న మొక్కలను గూడా ఒకసారి పరిశీలించం. మనకు కల్లాలుంటాయి, పొలాలుంటాయి, కాలువలుంటాయి, వ్యవసాయ భూములుంటాయి, దొడ్లుంటాయి, పశువులుంటాయి, అన్నీ ఉంటాయి. ఒక మొక్క గురించి గూడా తెలీదు మనకి. ఒక మొక్కను గూడా మనం పట్టించుకోము. ఆ శాస్త్రీయ దృక్పథమే ఉండదు మనం ఫీల్డ్‌లోకెళ్ళినప్పుడు. అందరూ ఏదో చెప్తారు. అందరూ శ్రీ వైష్ణవులేనంట. గంపలో చేపలు కనిపించలేదంట. మరి ఎవడు తిన్నట్టో? అలాగే మనం అందరం రైతు బిడ్డలమే. ఒకడికి ఒక మొక్క గురించి తెలీదు. ఒక మొక్కని ఐడెంటిఫై చేయలేరు. ఎక్కడ పడితే అక్కడే పెరుగుతుంది. బోయిర్ డిఫ్యూజా, గలిజేరు అంటారు, అంబలమాడు అంటారు. పశువులు మేస్తాయి, కోసి వేస్తారు. చిన్న రోడ్డలాగా ఉంటదనమాట. సో, దిస్ బోయిర్ డిఫ్యూజా ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ఇన్ అవర్ మన ఏరియాలో ఏం చేస్తారో తెలిసినా? దీన్ని ఆక్సాలిస్ తోటి కలిపి ఈ ఆకులు జాండీస్‌లో పసరమందు కింద ఇస్తారు. జాండీస్‌కి పసరమందు ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు. మీ మీ ఊరుల్లో గూడా ఉంటారు అలాంటి వారు చూడండి. జాండీస్‌కి పసరమందు ఇవ్వడం ఇలాంటి వాళ్ళు. ఈ బోయిర్ హేవియర్ డిఫ్యూజన్ వాడతారు. సో, ఈ బోయిర్ హేవియర్ డిఫ్యూజర్ లీవ్స్ ఆర్ డైరెక్ట్‌లీ can be cooked as leafy vegetable by tribal people. Of course, the modern people, just like us, civilized people, may not use this plant as leafy vegetable, but most of the tribals are used this plant as leafy vegetable. So, this Boerhaavia diffusa, leaves of the Boerhaavia diffusa is used to treat elephantiasis by the tribals of Waran tribals, those who are inhabited in Ambikapur district of MP, Madhya Pradesh, and Hemidesmus indicus. You know Hemidesmus indicus? So, Hemidesmus indicus is at present days also widely used to treat in digestive disorders. So, this is also same practice was reported there also. Thus, the Hemidesmus indicus is used to ఆహ్, జీర్ణాశయపు అల్సర్‌లు అన్నాడు. అంటే ది పెప్టిక్ అల్సర్స్. టు ట్రీట్ పెప్టిక్ అల్సర్స్. పెప్టిక్ అల్సర్స్ అంటే జీర్ణాశయంలో పుండ్లు పుడితే అవి ట్రీట్ చేయడానికి హెమిడిస్మస్ ఇండికస్‌ని వాడతారు. అండ్ ది నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ ఇండిగోఫెరా టింక్టోరియా. యూ నో వాట్ ఈస్ ఇండిగోఫెరా టింక్టోరియా? డిడ్ యూ హెర్డ్ ఎనీ టైమ్ దిస్ నేమ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ప్లాంట్? Did you heard any time during the study of family Fabaceae in second year taxonomy classes? So most one of the good example in the family Fabaceae, Indigofera tinctoria, నీలిమందు మొక్క అంటారు. So this Indigofera tinctoria is used as hmm, సంతాన నిరోధక అంటే కాంట్రాసెప్టివ్. యూ కెన్ రైట్ ఇట్ యాస్ దట్ వర్డ్ యూజ్డ్ యాస్ కాంట్రాసెప్టివ్. కాంట్రాసెప్టివ్ మీన్స్ సంతాన నిరోధకత అంటే పిల్లలు అక్కర్లేదు అనుకోవడం. ఇంకొంచెం చెప్పాలంటే ఫర్ ఫ్యామిలీ ప్లానింగ్. సో, దిస్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఫ్యామిలీ ప్లానింగ్. ఇట్ ఈస్ యూజ్డ్ యాస్ ఎ కాంట్రాసెప్టివ్. మీన్స్ ది leaves of the Indigofera tinctoria is ground into a paste, and it is added some amount of jaggery and prepared it as a small pills అంటే చిన్న టాబ్లెట్స్ ముద్దల్లాగా తయారు చేస్తారు బెల్లంతో కలిపి. సో దీస్ విల్ బి టేకెన్ వారల్లీ twice in a day twice in a day for about 5 days from the day of menstrual cycle, and it used as a contraceptive. So pregnancy will not become while it used. So this is the contraceptive method of contraceptive or family planning. And the next one, Leo Eucropilla. The Leo Eucropilla is the small grass species. The whole plant of this plant the paste of the whole plant. Paste of the whole plant is used to treat chest pain. So the chest pain may be appear by blood pressure or any other reasons. However, they use for chest pain. Chest pain. Did you write it down or not? Did you have write it down or not? Okay. Okay. So each example, if it is not clear, if you are not able to write it, you can ask again, sir. Tell me spelling. Then I will say the spelling. Because why I am not telling spelling for all, being the time by the time saving, I'm only uttering the names. If you can able to write those names, there is no problem. If you are not able to position a write to those names, you must inform me immediately. Then some studies that are carried out. This is the third one. The first one is at Central India by S.K. Jain and Tarabdan, and the second one is at Ambikapur district of Madhya Pradesh, and the third one is some of the studies that are carried out from South India, from the South Indian region, especially at Eastern Ghats. South Indian region, especially at Eastern Ghats. In Eastern Ghats, there are so many communities, tribals are inhabiting. Especially the prominent tribal people is Kwandadara and Koya. Kwandadoras and Koyas. These are the prominent and dominant tribal people that are inhabited along with the eastern Ghats of the South India. So in eastern Ghats of the South India, there are so many ethnobotanical studies have carried out by Sivarajan et al. You know what is meant by et al. Sivarajan et al. Et dot al all, not a double l, only one l. Et al. Means and others, and his associates and his disciples. That is the meaning. So these are all you have studied in ICBN, the citation of author. How can we cite the name of author and others? When we say the Murali and et al., that means Murali and Anil Kumar, Raditya, Sai, that is the meaning. Likewise, here Shivarajan et al., they have studied out so many medicinal plants, established so many medicinal plants during 2017. This is very recent study. I am giving as example, recent study. Some of the studies of Shivarajan and et al., where they carried out these studies, where they have carried out these ethnobotanical studies, from where they have reported, from where? Are you hearing my voice? Yes, from eastern Ghats of South India. అని చెప్పాలి ఎవరో టక్మని అన్మ్యూట్ అయ్యి. So some of the examples from Shivarajan studies. The first one is Echirantha aspera. You know Echirantha aspera? If you don't know this Echirantha aspera plant, so which is belongs to Amaranthesi, it widely grows here and there at everywhere. Amaranthus unisexual flowers. This inflorescence is pasted as while we walking to our fans. Ecranthus aspera. వీటిని ఏమంటారు ఎక్రాంతస్ యాస్పెరా అని? దుచ్చినికి పొల్లని విన్నారా ఎప్పుడైనది? ఎక్రాంతస్ యాస్పెరా and Aegil marmolus. What is Aegil marmolus? Aegil marmolus. Aegil marmolus. EAGLE marmolus. MRMOLUS. Marmolus. Which is fond of Shiva. Aegil marvelous, Rutaceae member, Androgapis paniculata. Yes, Aegil marvelous is married. Androgapis paniculata, Androgapis. It is very common plant. Even in our botanical garden, they are growing and growing. That people working in the botanical garden are eliminating every day, and again they will come as wild plant. Nalavemu. If you see the Secranthus aspera is used to treat piles and fistula. Piles and fistula. ఈ piles and fistulaని మూల వ్యాధి మొలలు అని అంటారు. Ecranthus aspera. Then the Aegil marmolus is used to treat fever. Used to treat fever. And Androgapis paniculata, Nalavemu, is used to treat all kinds of viral fever as well as a little or low concentration of antidote while a poisonous insects are bitten. While the poisonous insects are bitten to tribal people in their dwellings. In their dwellings. వాళ్ళు పనులు చేసుకున్నప్పుడు, వ్యవసాయం పనులు చేసుకున్నప్పుడు పొలాల్లోన ఏవైనా చిన్న చిన్న విషపూరితమైనటువంటి కీటకాలు కుట్టిన ఈ యొక్క యాండ్రోగ్యాపిస్ పానిక్యులేటా యొక్క పేస్ట్‌ని వాటి మీద పెడతారు. అప్పుడు నయం అవుతుంది. అలాగే ది ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది యాండ్రోగ్యాపిస్ పానిక్యులేటా. Extract means the whole plant extract. The whole plants are boiled and they will decrease that water into 1/4 of the total amount, total quantity. And this water is known as extract. This extract is given to patients to treat all kinds of viral fevers. All kinds of viral fevers. Even today, I have seen this practice at that Setampeta and Donubai area. While you go to Donubai from the police station area to Sonnapagadda, anybody of you are aware this area? Anybody of you aware this area? Aware of this area? Familiar with this area? No. After Setampeta, that Donbai comes. From Donbai, police station is there at the end of the village. From there, you can walk 2 kilometers and you will get one area that is Sonnapagadda area. So in between this area, this Androgapis paniculata is widely growing both sides of the road. Once upon a time means 10 years ago. 10 years ago I have seen. But before last year, while I go to there, no more Androgapis paniculata is growing there. What is the reason behind it? What is the reason behind it? The tribal people are collecting those plants and they sell them into 200 rupees per kilo, as it is their revenue and to support their economy. One of the police person in police station known to me, he has narrated the entire story about those plants. Those tribal people, especially those Savaras, are collecting these plants, sir, and they are selling in the market. Some mediators are coming to market, and those mediators are brought them by giving 200 rupees to them, and they are brought those plants and they are selling for higher rates later. So this is the situation that is happened. So it's what is this plant? Andrographis paniculata, నేలవేము. If you see that one leaf of this Androgypis paniculata, if you put into your mouth, it gives very bitter taste. So these are the three plants that are uh, used in one instance. And the second one, Ecranthus bidentata, another species. Ecranthus aspera is the one species, and Ecranthus bidentata is used to fertility, to improve the fertility. And also Blepharis madaraspatensis. Blepharis, Blifaris. Blepharis is the genus. Madaran patensis is the species. Madaran patensis is the another species. So this is also to used to treat fertility. These two plants are used to treat fertility. And Shenchu is Shenchu, one more tribe which are inhabited in Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats. So by Chenchus, this Syzygium cumini. What is Syzygium cumini? What is Syzygium cumini? The fruits of Syzygium cumini we are available in the market. It is the seasonal fruit. Now it is available. Syzygium cumini. Good. Nereid. So this Neredu, Syzygium cumini, juice of the leaves. Of course, the seeds are used to treat, not fruit. Seeds are used to treat diabetes. In modern medicine also, if you take, this is the tribal practice, this is ethnomedicinal practice, that the leaves of Syzygium cumini is used to treat earache. So one drop of leaf juice is poured into ears to cure the earache, chevinoppi, earache, and also to treat the diarrhea. So these are the two practices with the leaves of the Syzygium cumini by what tribe? Chenchu tribe. Chenchu tribes are population is very less, but these are very dangerous tribe. Chenchus. And you can see by the same tribe, Androgypis paniculata is also used to treat fever and jaundice. Fever and jaundice. You see, here one more important you must have to notice that the same plant may be used by different tribal communities to treat different diseases. Are you able to understand my point? So if you take Androgypis paniculata, the same plant Androgypis paniculata is used by Chenchus to treat jaundice. By same plant that Androgypis paniculata is used to treat fever by other tribal people like Koyas or Kondadora. And also the different plants from different tribal communities are used to treat the same disease also. These are the studies that are made by so many ethnobotanists. And here what I am saying you, the here Androgypis paniculata is used to treat by centuries to treat both fever and jaundice. And Euphorbia hecta, Euphorbia hecta, which is belongs to family Euphorbiaceae. It is also growing here and there. It is a small herb. What you call it as పచ్చబొట్లు అంటారు. This Euphorbia hecta is used to treat ulcers and cough. By Chenchus only. So these are the practice that are made by the Chenchus. And you can see the Gonds. Gonds that are inhabited in eastern Ghats. Gonds. So these Gonds are used Acacia arabica, Albizia, Albizia labac, Albizia labac, Atlantia monopilla, Atlantia monopilla, Caryota urens, Convolvulus peparia, Convolvulus. So this is the creeper which belongs to Convolvulaceae, Convolvulus. So these are the some plants. Then you come to what plant is used to treat what disease. The first one is Acacia arabica, albizia. These two are used to treat as antidote. You know what is antidote? Antidote is against to poison. Antidote is the term that used against to poison. Antidote. They used it as antidote. And the second one, these practices are by Gonds that are inhabited at, at Eastern Ghats. So Atlantia monopilla for joint pains, కేళ్ళ నొప్పులు అన్నాడు. For joint pains, Atlantia monopilla for joint pains, Caryota urens for urinary tract infection, urinary tract infection, Convolvulus cepharea, convolvulus CONVOLVULUS, convolvulus cepharea, CEPHARIA, cepharea is used to fertility and cyanotis tuberosa is used to treat cough. So these are by practices by Gonds that are inhabited at Eastern Ghats. And the second one, next one, Bhagata, Kondadora, and Koidora. Bhagatas, Kondadoras, and Koidaras. These are three more tribes which are inhabited at Eastern Ghats of South India. So these are used the Anonos squamosa to treat ulcers and wounds on the skin. Hello, are you able to hear me? Okay. So three more tribes are there: Bhagata, Kondadora, Koyadora. These three tribes are used Anonas squamosa to treat ulcers and wounds on skin. Next one, Polyanthia langifolia is used to treat Polyanthia langifolia. You know what is this? Naramamide antam. Polyanthia langifolia. Anonas squamous also, you know. These two are both are belongs to Anonaceae, Polyalthia langifolia and Anonas squamosa. So Polyalthia langifolia is used to joint pains, used to treat joint pains. Next one, Sympetalis perira. Sympetalis, Symptalous, Sympetalis perira is used to treat stomach ache, కడుపు నొప్పి. This next one, Nelambo nucifera. What is this Nelambo nucifera? What is the common name for Nelambo nucifera? You are very poor in taxonomy. మరి ఎంతసేపు ఆలోచిస్తున్నావు? వాట్ ఈజ్ అన్నప్పుడు టక్మని నీకు తెలిస్తే నువ్వు అన్మ్యూట్ అయ్యి చెప్పొచ్చు కదా. నెలంబో న్యూసిఫెరా కలువ టు ట్రీట్ డయోరియా, బ్రాసికా జెన్సియా. వాట్ ఈస్ ద కామన్ నేమ్ ఫర్ బ్రాసికా జెన్సియా? No one. Brassica gentiana. Aval, mustard. So this leaves of Brassica gentiana is used to diarrhea again diarrhea. Jejupus, Jejupus xylocarpa, Jejupus xylocarpa. Do you know Jejupus xylocarpa? What is the common name for Jejupus? Regu. Regu పండ్లు. Jejupus xylocarpus is used to treat asthma. All these practices are made by three tribes, three communities of tribes, that is Bagatas, Quantadoras and Koidoras. Jejupus xylocarpus to treat asthma. And the next one, Pterocarpus marsupium. Pterocarpus, PTE. While you are writing Pterocarpus, you see the spelling. PTEROCARPUS. Pterocarpus. P is silent here, like Pteridophyta, so on. So Pterocarpus marsupium is used to treat itchings. So the bark of the Pterocarpus marsupium is used to treat itchings. Itchings అంటే దురదలు. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి టీరోకార్పస్ మార్సూపియం అంటే ఏంటి? bark అన్నాను. Pterocarpus marsupium is the big tree. So this bark is collected and to treat itchings with this bark. Pterocarpus marsupium అంటే మద్ది చెట్టు. Then next tribe, Koya, Bonda, Bodo. These are the three tribes. What are these tribes? Koya, Bondo, Boda. These three more tribes are also inhabited at Eastern Ghats regions of South India. So they use Barleria prionitis. Barleria prionitis. What is the common name of Barleria prionitis? Barleria. గొబ్బి పూలు అంటారు. మీరు చూసారా? దీస్ గొబ్బి పూలు కూడా కనకాంబరాలు పూలులాగే ఉంటాయి, కానీ అవి వైలెట్ కలర్లో ఉంటాయి. కనకాంబరాలు జస్ట్ ఆరెంజ్ కలర్లో ఉంటాయి. Barleria prionitis, both are belongs to family Acanthaceae. So this Barleria prionitis is used to treat cough by this Bonda and Koya, Bodo. These tribal people are used like this. And the next one, Bahinia Valley. Bahinia Valley, you know, Devakanchanam. It is used to treat constipation. It is used to treat constipation. Malabaddakam. Used to treat constipation. Cassia fistula. Cassia fistula. The pulp of the fruits of Cassia fistula. Adi. Pulp in fruits of Cassia fistula is used to treat leprosy. And another species, Plumbago xylanica. So this Plumbago xylanica is used to used as not to you remove to used as abortifacient. What is meant by abortifacient? It was already familiar with you. So this was came once in our classes. Abortifacient means that is used for abortion. It is used for abortion. The agent or drug which is used to abortion is termed as abortifacient. Next one, Resinus communis. You know what is Resinus communis? Resinus communis also you don't know? Castor, ఆముదము. So this Resinus communis is treated to use headache. And next one, Semicarpus anacardium. It also came while we studying about gums and resins. Semicarpus anacardium. Anacardium accidental. You know Anacardium accidental? Anacardium accidental. Common name for Anacardium accidental. The common name for Anacardium accidental is kazu, whereas the Semicarpus anacardium is nallajedi. Did you see the seeds of nallajedi? నల్లజీడి విత్తనాలు చూసారా? నల్లజీడి విత్తనాలు చూడలేదా? దసరాకి బండికి కట్టట్లే. సో దిస్ ఈస్ Semicarpus anacardium. So the resin which is extracted from the seeds of Semicarpus anacardium is used to treat cuts and wounds. To treat cuts and wounds. తెగిపోయిన దెబ్బలు తగిలిన ట్రైబల్ పీపుల్ అదే రాస్తారు. And Pterocarpus marsupium. What is the common name of Pterocarpus marsupium? Just now I said the common name of Pterocarpus marsupium, which is practiced by Bagatas, Kondadoras and Koya. Pterocarpus marsupium is used to treat itching. అంటే రాయట్లేదు మీరు. రాస్తే మీరు ఎంత దూరం ఉంటుంది ఇప్పుడు? ఇందాక రాసిన దానికి ఇప్పుడు రాసిన దానికి సేమ్ ఒక పేజీలోనే ఉంటారు. ఇంకా టక్మని చెప్పలేరు ఇటు చూసి. మీరు రాయట్లేదు, ఫాలో అవ్వట్లేదు. Semicarpus anacardium cuts and wounds, Pterocarpus marsupium. So this is the wonderful practice that is used to treat diabetes. You know how they practiced this? They will take one piece of stem. ఈ మధ్య చెట్టు నుంచి ఒక మొక్క తీసుకుంటారు, కాండం మొక్క. And they form a one pit in that stem. ఒక చిన్న గోతిరెడి చేస్తారు. Then water will be poured at night in that pit, and morning they will take it and they will drink it. And it is said to be cure the diabetes. అలా చేస్తే డయాబెటీస్ తగ్గిపోద్దని వాళ్ళు చెప్తున్నారు. మన వాళ్ళు కూడా చూడండి, రాగి చెంబులో నీళ్ళు రాత్రి నుంచి ఉదయం తాగమంటారు. ఇలాంటి ప్రాక్టీస్ ఇది. Pterocarpus marsupium stem is used to treat diabetes. This is wonderful practice. Even it is used in modern medicine. It is very useful to modern era. So these are the some ethnomedico-botanical source from India. Especially I gave so many examples with reference to our known examples and known areas. What are the known examples and known areas? We have seen about the practices of Central India by S.K. Jain, and the second one is MP, because MP has taken one of the example, but is rich diversity in tribal communities in India. ఇండియాలో ట్రైబల్స్ ఎక్కువగా ఉండేటువంటి రాష్ట్రం ఏదైనా మీకు ఎవడైనా అడిగాడు అనుకో జనరల్ స్టడీస్లో, ఎంపీ అని చెప్పాలి. సో అక్కడ స్టడీస్ కొన్ని చెప్పాం. ది నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ ది ethno-botanical studies that were made by our own Eastern Ghats, because we belongs to Eastern Ghats. We belongs to South India, especially Eastern Ghats. Some practices by some tribal communities that are inhabited at Eastern Ghats we have dealt. So this is about today's class. These are the ethnobotanical resources, some of the resources. While you ask for essay question, you have to write yesterday's class and today's class togetherly. It will combinedly comes one essay question. Yesterday's class and today's class. That is about ethnomedico botanical resources in India. And the next chapter means the third chapter of the second unit will be learned on Monday, because tomorrow and day after tomorrow, tomorrow and day after tomorrow are holidays. You take holidays, and we will be meet again on Monday sharp 2 p.m. Good luck, all of you. Good luck.